Jessica Andrade taking on the 28-year-old Fall River, Massachusetts-born Tecia Torres. Andrade finally taller than an opponent. Both fighters weighing in at 116 pounds. That is the strawweight limit. Slight reach advantage with Jessica Andrade. Now back to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC strawweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a kickboxer holding a professional record, 10 wins, 1 loss. She stands 5 feet 1 inches tall, weighing in at 116 pounds. Fighting out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, presenting the number 5 ranked strawweight contender in the world, Tecia, the Tiny Tornado Torres! And now introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a Muay Thai kickboxer holding a professional record, 17 wins, 6 losses. She stands 5 feet 1 and 1/2 inches tall, weighing in at 116 pounds. Fighting out of Niterói, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting the number 2 ranked strawweight contender in the world, Jessica Andrade! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Kevin McDonald.
Kevin McDonald back in there for the co-main event. Vanessa Hansen getting us started for round 1. Jessica Andrade, 13th UFC appearance here tonight. That is the most all-time for women in the UFC. We have just passed the 5-year anniversary of the first women's fight in UFC history. And her nickname, Batea Estaca, means pile driver. She actually got DQ'd for pile driving an opponent in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition back in the day. All right, here we go. Title eliminator at strawweight, Andrade in yellow, Tecia Torres in the all red.
Usually Andrade looks like the thicker, stronger fighter, but she's shorter. Against Torres, she's the taller fighter, but Torres already landing the big right hand. We talked about it earlier. She earns respect very early, and it makes her opponent start to take a back seat to her because she's fast and she beats him to the punch.
Andrade now pressures. She said she'd like to try to catch Tecia as she moves forward, but if you've watched Andrade, you know she is the stalking type. And she's certainly not afraid to get hit. A right hand counter there from Tecia.
That is 3 of those big right hands landed by Torres already. Because of Andrade's style, she is there to be hit. She got hit with a number of big shots and kicks from Joanna Jędrzejczyk, but stayed in the fight. If she takes that many punches from Tecia Torres, she may get the lights turned out. Again.
Andrade landed a right hand there. The takedown defense held up. About a minute gone by round 1.
Torres is so much faster than her right now. She's flat-footed. She's plotting. Torres is light on her feet, throwing everything behind that jab and being very successful right now.
A lot of people felt like perhaps this matchup and some of the similarities could bring out the best in Tecia Torres. She is finding her range early against the prohibitive favorite, Jessica Andrade.
Long as she keeps moving, she'll be fine. The moment she sits and stays in the pocket too long is when Andrade is looking to land those big hooks. The first one landed there. The first right hand landed for Andrade. Torres has landed a bunch of them, but it won't take many from Andrade because she's so powerful. Tecia Torres is tagging her right now, John.
Andrade fought at 135 pounds in the UFC when this strawweight division did not exist and had some success up there, remarkably. But Tecia Torres off to a fine start here tonight. Andrade starting to pick up the pace too.
That's the question. Can Torres keep this pace over 15 minutes on her heels, backing up, while Andrade continues to get in her face and walk her down? Can she keep that pace?
Torres, one of the more disciplined, conditioned fighters on this roster as she eats the Andrade left hand, trains at altitude in Colorado Springs. She feels like training at altitude consistently is something in her back pocket that not a lot of fighters can match.
It's so much harder to fight going backwards than being first. Torres is being first right now, but she's constantly having to back up because of the pressure of Andrade. She is landing and landing beautiful combinations, but always on her back foot. If she could sit and throw one of those punches, she may be able to land one that puts Andrade down.
Jessica Andrade twice fought Tecia Torres' fiance Raquel Pennington at 135 pounds, 1-1 in the series. Andrade has now pulled ahead, at least in terms of the unofficial numbers, on significant strikes. Nice stick and move by Torres.
As the time passes and this fight goes longer, Torres seems to be getting more and more willing to stand in front of the Jessica Andrade, and that is a problem.
One minute to go in the round. You see Andrade has advanced 71% of the time, but Torres continues to land, eats a knee there.
Jessica Andrade likes this type of fight. Look at her. She's calm and patient in here. Look at Tecia Torres. As you said, one of the more disciplined, well-conditioned fighters. She's already starting to breathe a little bit heavier because this is not her style of fight. She's doing great, but this is not her style of fight. She would prefer to be controlling some of the engagements. She hasn't controlled any of these engagements yet because Andrade is always pressuring forward.
Wow. Andrade with a big takedown to put a capstone on the round. And how do you stop that at 115 pounds? Andrade takes Torres down. Round two, yours after this from Orlando. Expected an entertaining first 5 minutes between these strawweight contenders. Jessica Andrade and Tecia Torres. That is her wife, Fernanda Gomez, wiping off the final beads of sweat. Now time to bring in the other members of our broadcast team high above the octagon. Dominic Cruz and Michael Bisping, a couple of former UFC champions. Fellas, we'll start with Dom. Your thoughts on the action we saw in round one between Torres and Andrade?
So far, I like Andrade with the constant forward pressure and the body combinations, and also the takedown at the end. That was very intelligent. Ticia's fighting exactly the way she needs to. On her bike, lateral movement, picking her shots wisely. The difference that I think Tecia could make is some teep kicks up the middle to keep some space between her and Andrade. The more tired she gets moving backwards, the more Andrade is going to get closer and keep Torres in the pocket. Torres needs to stay on the outside the way she's doing, use some teep kicks in order to keep the space.
Well, Dominic, the forward pressure from Torres is very good, but it is a little frustrating, from Andrade, pardon me, because Torres is circling to the right, and all Andrade is doing is following her. You cannot follow somebody round in a circle constantly. It becomes too predictable. Andrade needs to cut off the opponent, get inside like he's doing, get the clinch, push her up against the fence, and use those hooks. Fantastic fight, though. Well done to both girls.
Fellas, thank you very much. We'll check in with you shortly to get a main event prediction. Andrade working Torres to the fence here, one underhook.
Very smart by Jessica Andrade here. This is where she found a lot of success against Claudia Gadelha. Because she's so strong, she can just lift. She can just lift her opponents and throw them down. Just use brute strength in positions where Tecia Torres was actually defending well. She just used her physical strength to pick her up and slam her down. And now Jessica Andrade is in a position where she can start to try to take control of this fight.
Andrade pops the head out there, 2 of 4 on her takedown attempts thus far.
Tecia Torres keeps throwing up this reverse triangle, not only to try and maybe secure a submission, but just to control the posture of Jessica Andrade.
Under 3 minutes here in this second round. Andrade working her top game here. Andrade just relentless. No desire, at least right now, to let Torres back to her feet.